Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Eternal Sonata playthrough. It is time to begin Chapter 3, Fantaisie Impromptue.
It's been 4 days already. I hope that Polka and the others are okay.
Ah, Polka and the others, huh? Not Beat and the others?
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm sure they're doing just fine. Look at us. We're managing. Look, Arco's saying cheer up, too. Oh, hey, Jazz, by the way, what's the name of that river we fell into back there?
Fusion River. It carries rainfall from Mount Rock down to the Blue Sea. The rich earth from Mount Rock flows down with the water, so crops tend to grow very well in the nearby regions of the river.
No, that was in the past. Ever since Walt started mining Mount Rock, things have changed a lot around this area.
A lifetime to build, but it only takes a moment to destroy. You know, human beings really are masters of destruction. Everything we do has some effect on the environment. And ultimately, that ends up affecting human society as well.
That's very true.
There should be a small inn past this swamp. Once we make it there, the rest of the way shouldn't be a problem.
We'll need to be up early tomorrow.
So, our party is split up. Viola and Allegretto have ended up with Jazz, Falsetto and Claves, and the others are nowhere to be found. And here we are in the Adagio Swamp. Basically, we just need to get the heck out of here because we're not going to do anyone any good in a swamp. So, since we have some brand new party members, we're going to primarily be using them in battles to get them on par level-wise. And basically, the entirety of Chapter 3 is going to be spent with these characters. So, Adagio Swamp. Adagio basically means in slow time. So, it is a type of tempo. Obviously, we've gone through the whole things of tempos before. So, Adagio is slow and stately, literally at ease, so that is about 66 to 76 beats per minute. At least I believe it's beats per minute. It's fine. So, that's quite... I don't know, that is quite slow, but it's quite pleasant as well. So, there's one thing that you'll immediately notice about our new characters. Falsetto and Jazz are pretty epic in terms of what they can do, because they both output quite a lot of damage. Jazz in particular is amazing, because with every hit he gets 2 hits, basically something to do with his sword, I feel, causes 2 hits. Falsetto, while she doesn't exactly do the same type of thing, she can hit very quickly because she's hitting things with her fists because she's such a badass like that. And so she too can very quickly decimate enemies. Claves, on the other hand, is a bit of a weakling in the grand scheme of things. She is essentially the designated healer of the trio. So she has a move called Unicorn Horn, which does all the healing stuff. But, yeah, not the biggest fan of using Claves, because she has very weak attacks. She's got very low health in comparison to the other characters. And yeah, she's just not the most useful in combat. That said, we are just going to make sure we use her. It's not integral that we do so, because there ultimately will come a point where she will once again leave our party. But there is still time to use her, and so we will. So obviously, since we have gained them, let's have a little look at exactly what their names refer to, because obviously they're all music related. So obviously Jazz, his name is based on the music genre that originated in African American communities of New Orleans in the United States in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, developing from the roots of the blues and ragtime. And basically, the 1920s is the jazz age because jazz became a very popular form of music in that period. So, in many ways, it is an anachronism. Like, jazz would not exist, or would not have existed in the time of Frédéric François Chopin. Particularly jazz relating to, like, with trumpets and stuff, because that is ultimately what jazz's sword is sort of based on. You can see the elements of the trumpet in it. And I think people have looked into the origins of the word jazz, and basically it is apparently believed to be related to jasm, which is a slang term dating back to 1860, meaning pep or energy. But that is questionable. There's also the proposed origin of the French jaser, I believe, which means chatter or chat. There's also the French chasser, which means chase or hunt. But that is questionable. I think the one that is most agreed upon is jasm. But that was American slang, and whether Chopin would have been aware of that is a completely different kettle of fish. So that's unfortunate, but it's quite cool because obviously jazz is sort of that easygoing but flexible type of music that can be like quite big and powerful if you want it to be. And that quite fits Jazz's character. Falsetto is basically the high octaves of people's voices. So it's just above the modal voice register and overlaps with it by approximately 1 octave. So effectively, what I'm talking in right now is my normal or modal voice, which for me is actually relatively deep, to be fair. I mean, it's relatively high, but also it's relatively deep. This is obviously what happens when guys go through puberty, their voices drop. But whenever anyone's speaking in falsetto, or singing in falsetto, they're going much higher than they would in their normal voice. So whenever anyone is, like a guy is trying to mimic a female voice, that is generally using their falsetto. So the falsetto is sort of up here! That's sort of a falsetto, but not really, because it's not really working very well. But if you look at songs like... oh gosh, I'm trying to think of songs that use falsettos. theme song for Spectre, the awful... oh yeah, Writings on the Wall, for James Bond Spectre, because that's like, cause the writings on the... Oh my god, that was... Ooh, that was so out of tune. But yes, Sam Smith does a lot of falsetto stuff. I tend to avoid doing anything in falsetto, because I just can't do it. My voice tends to stay in my general range. I tend to stick in chest voice rather than going anywhere near head voice because I just can't do it. I am at heart a belter, so I don't go into that extra high register. And last but not least, get the T in there, is claves. And basically they are a percussion instrument consisting of a pair of short, thick dowels that you sort of hit against each other. Traditionally they're made of wood, typically rosewood, ebony or grenadilla. Or grenadilla, I'm not sure, doesn't really matter. But in modern times they are also made of fiberglass or plastic. When struck they produce a bright clicking noise, and sometimes they are hollow and carved in the middle to amplify the sound. And I have to say, I do find it strange that claves is called claves, because at least when we are first introduced to her, that doesn't seem to quite fit her character very well. But I suppose elements of it, once you see where the narrative goes, you could get reasonable inference as to why she is called Claves. And since we are continuing to run around the Adagio swamp, we've also got the voice actors for these characters. So Jazz is voiced by D.C. Douglas. You'd most likely recognise Douglas from being Albert Wesker in Resident Evil, Legion in Mass Effect 2 and 3, and as Chase in Transformers Rescue Bots. However, he has been in quite a lot of things over the years. So, I mean, he's Gunter in Fire Emblem Fates. He has voiced various characters throughout the Tale series, so Alexei in Tales of Vesperia, President Dylan Paradine in Tales of Gracis, and Stingle in Tales of Legendia. He's the voice of Raven in the Tekken series, Rufus Albaria in The Legend of Heroes, Trials of Colosseum series. He's HB in Xenoblade Chronicles X. He's also done some anime stuff and some general animation stuff, and he has also done a variety of TV shows, but I'd say that the stuff that I've said is probably what you're most likely going to recognise him as. Claves is, I believe, voiced by Tara Platt, who is one of those just really prolific voice actresses, and it's also quite nice because she's married to Yuri Lowenthal, who's also a very prolific voice actor, and they work together quite often. They've got their own production company where they do stuff together, which is just quite awesome. So you're most likely to recognise Tara Platt as being Tamari in Naruto, and Reina in Raid Master. She's also voiced Noir in Tales of the Abyss, Mitsuru Kurijo in Persona 3, as well as various other characters in a variety of things.
Eagle Wing! Is that all?
I'm just trying to see if there's anything that is
That was a good fight.
particularly famous that people would go for. Oh, that's cool. So she's the voice of Setsuka in Soul Calibur 4, which makes me very happy. She's also the voice of Trombon in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Fate of the Two Worlds. She is Flavia and Muriel in Fire Emblem Awakening. She's the voice of Glamour and Alrune, plus additional voices in Bayonetta 2. Also makes me very happy, that one. And then has done a variety of other things to do with that. And these are probably the most famous roles, really. But she is quite prolific. And last but not least, Falsetto is voiced by Julie Ann Taylor, who's best known for her role as Aitanabe in Planets, Mitsumi Otohime in Love Hina, Yukari Hayasaka in Paradise Kiss, and Taiga Fujimura in Fate/Stay Night. And yeah, her list of roles in anime is quite extensive. So that's everything from Bleach, where she's Lirin, Rin Tsubakura, Hineko as a spirit, Nozomi Kujo and Jackie Tristan, to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders as Holy Kujo, to Sailor Moon Crystal, where she voices Haruna Sakurada, and so on and so forth. In terms of video games, she's done various Fire Emblem voices, so Cordelia and Severa in Fire Emblem Awakening, Selena, Kaldori and Flora in Fire Emblem Fates. She is the voice of Emile in Nier and Nier Automata, which is amazing. And she's also the voice of Carol Capel in Tales of Vesperia.
Chew on that.
And she's also the voice of Sabaki, Yayoi, Kokonoi, and Izayoi in the Blaze Blue series. Never have quite figured out how to pronounce those types of things. And she's also Linka in the Atelier series. So in Atelier Ayesha, Atelier Eshen Loji, and Atelier Shali. Probably butchered all of those names, but it doesn't matter. And we're slowly but surely getting to the point where they have matched up to Allegretto and Viola in levels, which makes me quite happy, because then we can start playing about a little more with our party setups, because as you can probably see, I am struggling a bit with Claves.
Come on, I'll take you on.
She's easily one of those characters where you're likely to just drop her very quickly. And
Catching on yet?
in terms of party members in general, if you went through the rest of the game with Falsetto, Jazz and Viola, you'd be doing pretty well for yourself in the long run. So, pretty much at this point we have met every single one bar one of our main party members. And really the ones that I would certainly recommend using if you want an easier time are Frederick, Allegretto, Falsetto, Jazz, and Viola. All of the and Salsa, to be fair. She can be very good, particularly when you get some of her later attacks, which just hits so much and can cause so much damage. Basically, the attacks that I've always found to be the most useful are the ones that hit a lot of times. So, Falsetto's Slow Claw is a delight. Jazz's Heat Blade is a delight. And really, those are the ones that you tend to stick with throughout pretty much most of the game, to be fair. But thankfully, we have made it through the Adagio Swamp. And I have to say, I have the feeling that we've got a bit of a cutscene coming on as we finally get to a point where we can rest up, thank God.
I'm really worn out.
That's the inn we told you about. We've only ever been here once before, and that was quite a long time ago. I'm glad to see it's still here.
Hey, it's already pretty late. Let's just stay here for the night.
Good idea. We'll set out again tomorrow morning. But for tonight, let's get some rest.
My lord, the Kabasa Bridge has fallen. It appears Tuba fell to his death along with the others.
That useless fool. He wasn't satisfied taking his own life. He had to kill the guardian of a go-go forest, too.
What shall we do, my lord?
Oh well, all we need to do is find the glowing Agogos. This just proves how worthless Tuba really was. I feel more sorry for the bridge. After all, it had to support that behemoth's weight.
I really like the feel of this place a lot. It has the same smell as the place where I live.
Are the goats that you left behind going to be all right?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be completely fine. I mean, when I left them, they weren't fenced in or anything. And those goats are pretty smart, too.
I'm sure they are. But no matter how smart they might be, I doubt they could guess the reason their master hasn't come back yet. Is because she fell into a river.
You're probably right about that.
Oh, are you out for some air too, Allegretto? This area gets kind of cool at night, so it's nice.
What's bothering you, Allegretto? I know what it is. I bet you're thinking about Polka, right? What's the matter?
I've been thinking about this for a while now. The people that attacked us, I get the feeling they thought we were part of Andantino.
Huh?
I see the whole group has arrived.
Hey, he looks like someone in authority around here.
You're right, he does. Let's go ask him if he can get us an audience with Count Waltz.
Hold it. We already know all about your plan. Let's keep this very simple. Don't resist us, and none of you will get hurt.
You have a point. No matter what they might say about Count Waltz, even he wouldn't give orders to kill ordinary citizens who are just coming to visit him.
Exactly. That guy sounded like he knew that someone was supposed to be showing up at that time, and he was waiting for them.
Jazz, it sounds like you might have an information leak.
What?
Yeah. It's possible you've got a spy working in your group.
But Clavace and Falsetto are the only ones who knew about that mission. That would mean